Welcome everyone to day 75. From 100 days we are already 3/4 done. And today we have a special day because we're going to look into something that we've used a little bit before, but now Leon has completely understood it, so he's going to help you understand it too. So without further ado, Leon Andersen, how are you doing?
Hello, everyone. I would say the claim that I completely understood it is maybe a bit bold, because I would have to understand everything back until the Big Bang to understand this completely. But I understand it in the context of of a few things. So yeah. Anyway, basically updater functions. What we see here is that is the case where maybe sometimes we want to call the set counter or the set state function multiple times within the click handler and or state handler, and the thing is, if we do the usual thing that we did before, where we just put in count plus 1 3 times, then count plus 1 would be called three times, but it would only be rendered once. So React basically ignores multiple of the same input unless you write it in the form or in the structure of a function. And so, for example, if we would console.log count in between the set counts, we would still get 0, because there is no updating or no setting of the count until the whole change count is being executed from front to back, and then the use state updates. But if we write it with count.1, it would only update count plus 1 instead of count plus 3, even though we have even though we would have written 3 times count plus 3. So maybe you can just write what I meant. So if we would write that 3 times, we would only get plus 1 each time. And basically, there's like one can imagine that there's like an array in the back end of React, where all the functions that are inside of the handler, inside of the set state function, get saved until the state update happens. So then, like if we use it this way, we can basically like each, it's like there would be a map function over the state, so or over the state, using each of these functions for each iteration. So actually, even though we write 3 times, in this case, c plus 1, even though we do that, it's actually not the same variable c for each function, but it's different functions. We could call the first one c, second one f, and the third one z, and each of them with one. It wouldn't matter because each of these functions gets mapped over the state, one after another, each one adding another one. And then after all these functions are mapped over it, then the whole thing gets rendered. What confused me, though, in hindsight, was why can I console.log C inside of the second function, and the answer to that was, when I thought about it, was that we're not console.logging the C of the first set count function, but we're logging the C that's the input or the argument of the second one, which is the state mapped over with the first function. So it gets the same result as the first C variable, but if we would have the second function d and then console.log d, we would get the same result. And yeah, I think that's basically it for this updater function. Yeah, everything you need to know about that, because just be aware that if you want to make sure that everything gets executed, write it in terms of a function, and then you will have success. Did I miss anything there, or?
No, you did great. I think that's a good explanation and a good rule of thumb. I would always prefer the updater function just to make sure that everything works as you described. And I remember, I think a few days ago, I hinted that, hey, the way that you were doing things can cause problems for people on slow devices. And this is exactly what I meant. So basically, if you have a fast device, in between, and you write a function like this, right, with just one set count where we reference the current count like this. On most devices, you will not be able to click fast enough so that React does not, in the background, update the state change. But if your device is very slow for some reason, maybe you're just on an old phone or a very old browser or something, then what will actually happen if you click twice, both of these state updates will be scheduled in the same update cycle. And therefore, even though the user thinks they clicked twice, it will only update the state once. And this can never happen as long as you use updater functions. So that is basically the real world application for why it's good practice to know about this and to use this.
So is there, like, this example definitely makes sense to me. Here, how Cole demonstrated it with 3 times, like 3 different set count functions. Is that something is that the second real world application that we, or is it never used, where you have multiple set count functions or set state functions inside of a on-click handler?
Like this, for example, I mean, maybe there's an example where this makes sense, right? But this one definitely does not make sense, right? Because if you want to update this count by 3, instead of doing it like this, you would just do this, right? That is way more economic.
Yeah, definitely. That's obvious, but as far as I understood it, maybe sometimes we call different functions inside of one one on-click handler or state handler.
Yeah, and I mean, a good example is the one from us yesterday, right? When you implemented the switcher between incrementally changing the colors of the plates and randomly assigning a color. That could be something where in the same click handler, you have different state updates.
Yeah, I mean, even though they were like a toggle between two, I don't know, but maybe I'll encounter that sometime in the future. So maybe you can help me out, because I just wasn't sure about how to call it since the beginning of the stream. Is it, just as a reminder, is it a on-click handler or is it a state handler?
And so usually people say something like the click handler. And the convention would be to name this function handle click. So you will often see something like on click, handle click, on click, and click, like this.
Got it. I always associated the function more with the state update rather than with the click, but I guess that's yeah. This also makes sense to write it like this with handle click. Okay, cool. So the next concept is how to work with arrays and objects inside of React state. And the thing about objects and I mean, the initializer function is also a good topic. Yeah, why not go into that? So yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe we can keep it. I think we don't have too much time today, so let's go into that tomorrow. But yeah, why not go through all of the rest tomorrow, because it's going to be too stressful today. Yeah, I would say all these topics belong together. Let's keep them in a keep them together in one cold core, even though tomorrow I have even less time than today. So to be exact, I have zero time tomorrow. Well, how do we go about? I mean, I will remember it until. I mean, Saturday will be will be full as well. So yeah, I guess we have to keep it with announcement streams until Monday or something, and then go through all the topics. So today, yeah, I'll just announce that sometime in the next few days we will talk about initializer functions and working with objects and arrays instead, and UUID, or like generating IDs for all these different elements, and also different ways of yeah, updating, deleting, changing stuff inside of arrays in React. And yeah, that's very exciting stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. And that was it for today. Can't mute myself.
Most, and thanks everyone for watching. I think there's nothing more to add. You're a little bit drilled. Like there will be 2 or 3 days of just short streams, but then we'll pick it up again as we usually do. Maybe we'll give you another 90-minute blockbuster stream. We will see. Thanks everyone for watching. Tune in next time when we explain a lot more about React. And until then, we had something yesterday, but I already forgot it. So we'll go with always be mounting. Thank you for this has been the cold call with
Leon Andersen and my mentor.
Andersen from Panic Staff. That was not good, but we will improve. Thanks everyone.
Always be mounting until tomorrow.